Hello everyone and welcome to Sports Timeout. I'm Anthony Polidano. Today we're covering our area teams in the 2008 boys basketball playoffs. The playoffs started on a sad note as just one day before the districts began, Eisenhower fans learned of the death of former Eagle great Rob Atherton. Atherton led Ike to a regional title in his senior year and was just 22 years old. Just hours after learning of the news, a heavy-hearted Ike team would have to face off against what many consider to be the district's best team, the 16-4 MAC White co-champs and defending district champions of Ford.
Very sad news over this past weekend. One of Eisenhower's valued family members of the Eisenhower basketball team, Robbie Atherton, from the class of 2004, passed away suddenly. He was a captain, a 3-year varsity player. He was player of the year for the Macomb County Conference as well as the Macomb Red Conference. He will dearly be missed, and our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends. So, again, we'd like a moment of silence for Robbie Atherton.
Eisenhower obviously playing this game with a lot on their minds, and they came out with a lot of fire in this one. Early in the first, Nate King on the miss here. Steve Brown tracks down the board over to Casey Grisha. He's left alone, steps out and hits the three-pointer, and the Falcons are up by 3-5-2. More Ford role players here in the first as Ike tried to shut down King and Hunt. It's King over to Arbon Oldadai. He steps out and hits the J. Ford up 11-4. But the Eagles snap back into it. John Orlando here over to Justin Bragi. Bragi playing point guard all year for Ike. He's a talented shooting guard, though. He hits that three-pointer. Eisenhower down by 1. Then Chuck Brown with the steal ahead to Ryan Tomeko. He cocks the hammer and throws it down. He was fired up. Eagles led 14-11 at the end of the first. Here off the John Orlando miss, Dragan Bjelic off the bench with the board out to Barone. Back to Bjelic. She steps out and hits the triple. Eagles back on top in the seesaw game, 17-15. Then Ford goes on a run as Ike was hounding Kyle Hunt. Gets it over to Nate King for 3. Ford down by 1. Then Hunt starts to take over in the second quarter. Comes up with the steal here. Coast to coast on this one. Thought about throwing it down. Maybe tried to. Gets the lay-in. Hunt with a double-double in the first half. Ford now in the midst of a 10-0 run to go up on top as Hunt comes up with a loose ball. Down the floor, stops, hits the triple, and Ford was up by 6. They led 31-28 at halftime. Third quarter, Falcons look to extend that lead. Brown comes up with a steal to Grishai, over to Hunt, and Kyle with the finish. Falcons up by 7, 35-28, but Eisenhower comes roaring right back. Here John Orlando comes up with the steal. He's going to get over to Tomeko. Tomeko, a big impact in this game off the bench as he sets his feet and hits the three-pointer. A 9-0 Ike run as they were down by 2. Then Grishai with the miss. Barone, the big guy moving up the floor, gets it over to Corey Petros, another impact player off the bench for the Eagles. And Ike was up 37-35. Nate King answers back for the Falcons. He had a big night. 23 points on the night, 3 of them right there. Ford on top, 41-39. Then Jeff Rogner, another Eagle sub. Look at that, coast to coast, just threading the Ford defense. We were tied at 41. Brandon Lumley's team trying to buckle down in the fourth quarter, and he sticks with the bench because it was working well here. Rogner to Tomeko for another three-pointer, and Eisenhower was up 46-43. Falcons come back behind their two-headed monster. Here Hunt coming up with the steal. He's going to take it all the way in eventually, and Hunt lays it up for 2, and Ford was back on top by 4, 53-49. Now late in the game, Eisenhower down by 2. Brandon Lemley at the huddle, telling them to go for a three if they had it. If not, try and get the ball inside. Tameko open for the three, misses it, but Chuck Barone comes down with a rebound and gets fouled. Clearly a foul there with just 1.5 seconds left. Barone, up to that point, was just 2 of 8 from the charity stripe, and you kind of get the sense that these were maybe guided in by someone up above. He was absolutely perfect on those two, and we go to overtime. In the overtime, the Eisenhower reserves starting to outlast that Ford bench. Mark Bray looking for answers on that bench. He couldn't find it. Here at Orlando in the OT, pulls up, goes off the glass, and gets the roll for 2. Eisenhower takes the lead. They shot 4 of 7 from the floor in the overtime, where Ford was just 1 of 5. Barone, nice pass there to Corey Petros, 65-61. One last chance for the Falcons. Both King and Hunt fouled out. Casey Grishai throws up the three for the tie. It's off the mark. Rogner comes down with it, and the Eagles pull off the upset in the first round. A valiant effort by Ike as they win 72-68. Both Hunt and King with double-doubles. Kyle with 34 in the loss. The other Falcons combined to go just 3 of 21. Ike's bench outscores Ford 38-2. Tameko leading the way with 17 points for Ike.
Well, before the game, we got ourselves psyched up, and basically we played and won this game for Robbie Atherton.
Underclassmen came up huge. I mean, you could tell. I mean, they came out and they handled the pressure good, and they hit down their free throws. So.
In the other district opening match, Utica took on Sterling Heights. The Chieftains had an up-and-down season, but they had just beaten the Stallions by 20 a few weeks prior. Sterling Heights was missing their top 2 scorers from that game. With Alex Lowry and Lamar King back from injury, the Stallions were hoping for better results.
Stallions trying to make a return trip to the district finals, pick up the action in the first quarter. Chieftains strong out of the gates in this one. It's Javon Daggins, the transfer, with the miss, but Brian Garbarino in there. The little point guard comes up with a big offensive rebound and the putback. Chieftains up 2-0. Then, more Utica here. Stallions almost turn it over, and then they do. Chris Robinson with the steal. He goes coast to coast, and Utica was up 6-1. Then Michael Hollingsworth with the steal, misses the dunk, but look at the save by Garbarino. Back to Hollingsworth underneath. Michael says, thanks for bailing me out on that one. 10-3, Chieftains up by 7. And Hollingsworth here blocked by Alex Lowry, who had a great night. Ball stolen by Brian Garbarino. He seemed to be everywhere in the first. 12-3. Utica up by 9. Then another Hollingsworth steal. He again gets it ahead to Robinson. Utica 10 of 18 from the floor in the first quarter. They led at the end of one, 20-9. Chieftains were not done yet. They continue to stretch the lead in the second. Brian Machurdo off the bench. He pops a three, and it was 25-9. Then Garbarino coming up with yet another steal. He takes it in, 32-10. It's looking like the Chieftains in a runaway. More Utica here. Javon Daggins elevates and gets the block. Then Robinson down the floor, over to Daggins, over to Jason Palazzolo, over to Machurdo in the corner for three. It's a 24-point lead, 37-13. Utica dominating. Julian Vetrano gets it going for Heights here in the third. He was sitting out most of the first half with foul trouble, but he wakes up in the third quarter. That shot got him down to 13, and then Vetrano here with the three-pointer gets the lead down to 10, 43-33. Then Alex Lowry here off the tip pass gets it over to Keenan Hughes up off the JV, and Hughes hits the three-pointer. And the Stallions had shaved the lead down to 9, 45-36. They were not done coming back. Alex Lowry here coming up with a steal and throws it down. Good elevation there by the senior. He had a monster night. Stallions down by just 8. Then more Sterling Heights. They just kept coming in this one. It's Vetrano here going strong to the hoop. He was one of the most pleasant surprises on the team for Coach Griffin this year. Stallions down by 6, but Jerry Kramer calls timeout and says that's just about enough of that. And Utica puts an end to Sterling Heights' comeback hopes. Specifically, Mike Hollingsworth does. Gets the kind roll there. Chieftains go on a run. They're up by 14 again, and then Hollingsworth again in transition. Just tough to stop that guy. Up and in, 59-43. And Utica goes on to win by 14, 70-56. Lowry, 25 points, 10 boards, 4 steals in the loss. Hollingsworth had 21. Garbarino, 16 and 7 boards. The Utica bench outscored Sterling Heights' bench 23-7. Barishai and Machurdo in double figures off that Utica bench.
I think, when you get up to at home, you start feeling good about yourself, and it kind of bit us. But our kids did a nice job recovering in the fourth quarter, and we had a nice little run to keep us with a 10-point cushion.
After the Chieftains hung on against Sterling Heights, Utica would then have to face another one of the district favorites, L'Anse Creuse. Now, the Lancers had beaten Utica twice during the regular season, but the playoffs had not been kind to the Lancers in recent years, no matter how heavily favored they were.
There is Nick Carreri, a force to be reckoned with in the MAC Red this year, averaging a double-double on the season. And Utica going to be down double figures rather quickly in this one. In the first, it's Carreri with the rebound ahead to Willie Cruz. And the Lancers were off and cruising early. More cruise control by L'Anse Creuse. Willie with the steal. He glides in for 2. 6-0 Lancers up out of the gates. And they would continue to pile it up on the Chieftains. Here Carreri over to Cruz, open for the J. Lancers could do no wrong early on, up 12-0. Utica coach Jerry Kramer has to call a timeout just to get his team to maybe, start playing. More of the same, though, as he had to talk with them, and the lead only seemed to grow for the Lancers. Here Alonzo Chambry with that one, 16-2 to end the first. Lancers up by 14. More Lancers, as it's Carreri coming up with the ball. Probably should have got called for a travel there. Over to Cruz to Martel Betts. 18-2. Utica started out just 1 of 14 from the floor. John Haas psyched up about the defense, and why not? Probably happy about the shooting, too. Here Betts leaves it for Cruz. He hits the 3, and yes, it was 24-2 Lancers in the second quarter. Utica finally stops hitting the snooze alarm. They wake up here, and what gets them going? Like a bucket of cold water, Mike Hollingsworth for the 3. 24-5, Utica down by 19. Then Garbarino ahead to Hollingsworth in the same spot. Start to notice the Lancer defense ease up a little with that big lead. It was 24-8. And then Chris Robinson into the act. Calls glass, I'm sure. 24-10. Utica down by 14 in the second, and they just kept coming. Here Hollingsworth fakes a 3, drives baseline, gets a kind roll there, and the Chieftains starting to make it a ball game again, down by 10, 25-15. More Hollingsworth, as he was just deadly from behind the arc in this one. Third three-pointer of the night makes it a 9-point lead, 27-18. Here Hollingsworth picks up the loose ball, goes coast to coast. Chieftains back within 7, 27-20. Third quarter, Lancers trying to keep a little distance between them and Utica. It's Carreri off the miss, following his own shot with the tip in, and the Lancers are back up on top by 9, 36-27. Then more Utica here. It's Ryan Kennedy ahead to Betts, who leaves it for Cruz. He glides in. He had an awesome night, 27 points for Willie. They were back up by double figures, 38-27. Then Hollingsworth, yet another three-pointer. Utica 8 of 14 from the floor in the third. And Garbarino here calling his own number. He gets the leaner to go. And the Chieftains were down by just 4. Closest deficit since it was 4-0. On to the fourth quarter now. It's Hollingsworth again. Steps out, hits another three-pointer. He could not be stopped on the night. Utica down by just 2, but the Lancers seem to put this one away as they regroup here. Chambry over to Cruz. It's a 13-5 L'Anse Creuse run that gets them up by 10 again at 62-52. But Jerry Kramer's team showing uncanny resiliency in this one as they just kept coming back. Here, Hollingsworth, another three as he was hitting them all night. 7 3-pointers for Mike Hollingsworth in the game. It was 63-58. Then Zeph Barashai here following his own miss with the putback. 65-60 after the foul. Utica down by just 5. Chieftains here, plenty of opportunities as Hollingsworth with the miss, or the pass over to Palazzolo. It's followed by Jared Williams off the bench with the putback with just 20 seconds left. Utica down by only 1, 65-64. Williams with the chance to tie. Free throw off the mark. Lancers don't get the rebound. Look at the hustle by Williams and Chris Robinson. Robinson fouled, and Utica would go to the line. Chris Robinson, like a senior, hits them both, and the Chieftains were up on top. Utica trying to salt this one away. Palazzolo missing a free throw late, and how about that phantom call in there? A foul on Mike Hollingsworth gives Betts a chance to hit 2 free throws to give the Lancers the win. He misses the first, misses the second, gets his own offensive rebound, and seems to get completely mugged just before the buzzer sounds. John Haas irate about it. The officials get together. Betts can't believe, I don't know if he's doing that over the free throws or the foul that wasn't called. The officials get together. They don't whistle the foul on Utica. They call it on Lance Cruz for fouling Hollingsworth. He makes 2 free throws to put him up by 3. Less than a second left. A desperation heave by Lance Cruz is off the mark. Utica wins a controversial game there, but what a comeback. 68-65, down by 22 at one point. Hollingsworth a career-high 35. Carreri with a double-double. Cruz with 27. Utica a 30-point fourth quarter for the dramatic come-from-behind win.
Just an outstanding comeback for our kids. When we got down by that many, our kids at one time, they did hang their head, and we talked about it in the huddle. We just said we've been down by this before in the Grosse Pointe North game, and that's all you can do is keep plugging away. And our kids did, and as we scored some points, and Michael really kind of got us going with a couple threes in the every quarter. But as soon as we started making some shots, that picked up our intensity on defense, and we finally started doing some things that we talked about.
After an emotional and exhausting win over Ford in round 1, the Eagles faced off against Stevenson in round 2. The Titans and Ike had met once during the regular season. Ike's depth proved to be too much for the Titans as the Eagles won 67-46. The Titans did get a vote of confidence from Free Press writer Mick McCabe. McCabe raised some eyebrows when he picked the 2-18 Titans to win the entire district.
The Titans, the team everyone except McCabe was overlooking in the district. Jimmy Portell trying to get the Titans going against the Chuck Wagon, Chuck Barone, and the Eagles. And early on, it was Eisenhower with the muscle. Joe Worth with the miss. Barone there with the rebound and the putback. Eagles strong out of the gates, up 4-0. Then Portell here in the corner, steps back and drains the 3. Stevenson down by 1 at 4-3. Eisenhower, though, very efficient in the first. It's Bragi out to John Orlando. A streaky shooter is Orlando, and he was heating up kind of like the city of Orlando in this one. 7-3, Eisenhower in the first. Then Bragi with the steal and the lay-in. Eagles up 9-3 in the first. More Eisenhower still in the first. It's Bragi with the nice pass down low to Ryan Tomeko, wide open for the lay-in. 11-3, Ike up. Then more Eagles. It's Tomeko finding Orlando in the corner. As I said, he was getting hot. 14-3. Titans just 1 of 10 from the floor in the first. Here, Justin Bragi beats the first quarter buzzer. So at the end of one, Eisenhower dominating, up 16-3. In the second, more of the same. It's Orlando open for 3 again. 26-11. Eagles up by 15. Titans try and come back here. Portell gets the ball up top, fakes the shot, goes to the hoop, basket and the foul. Titans down 26-13 at the half. Here in the third, Michael Pizzoli gets the Titans to within 10 as he steps out and hits the three-pointer. but Stevenson could just not muster a whole lot of offense in this one as Eisenhower was suffocating defensively and had just enough O to get it done. Here, Michael Pendy inside to Corey Petros. The lead up to a dozen, and then Jeff Rogner comes up with a steal. He gets it ahead to Orlando, and Eisenhower wins it easily, 58-41. 9 different Eagles score. Orlando led the way with 14 points. They out-rebounded Stevenson 37-25. The Eagle bench outscored them 24-7 as the Titans shoot just 28% from the floor.
In the final was the Chieftains facing off against Eisenhower. The two teams had split their regular season meetings, each winning on their home floor. Both Ike coach Brandon Lemley and Utica coach Jerry Kramer had 2 district titles each. One of them would end the night with a 3rd district crown.
This is a game that Utica had been waiting for a long time. They had already beaten Ike in football this year. What could be better than beating them in the district finals in boys hoops? Early on, Chieftains playing very well here. Chris Robinson on the miss, and it's Brian Garbarino coming up with the loose ball in for the land. Nice move by Garbs, and Utica was up 6-4. Eisenhower comes right back, though. This was kind of a counter-punch first quarter. It's Barone over to Bragi. Bragi was locked in on this night. He hits the three-pointer. Eagles back up by 1, 7-6. Then Brian Machurdo here in the corner. Over to another Chieftain reserve, Jared Williams. Williams left wide open inside. Chieftains back up by 1, 10-9. Then Bragi here with the drive, baseline, beating Hollingsworth for 2. Eagles up 13-10 at the end of 1. Jerry Kramer's team looking to come back in the second quarter. And again, it's the Eagle reserves coming up big in this one. Missed by Daggins. It's Petros over to Rogner. Rogner pushing it up the floor to Tomeko. In for the lay-in off the glass for 2. Ike back up 15-14. Then Hollingsworth answering back again for Utica. We said this was a back-and-forth game. He goes off the glass for 2. Utica back in the lead, 18-17. Lemley sticking with that bench that had been so productive for him in the districts. Here it's Dragon Bielich with the steal, and Dragon, I wouldn't say a fire-breathing dragon, but he gets the deuce. Ike back on top. Eagles up 21-18. Then more Ike here in the second. Johnny Orlando hits the 3. Ike 7-10 from the floor in the second quarter. Hollingsworth here to Barashai. Is Utica answering back yet again? Zeff gets the shot, takes a little hit, but gets it to go. Chieftains down by 3, and then look at the cutting by Hollingsworth as he finally shakes Michael Pendy, gets the hoop and the foul. Tied at 24. It was 28-24 Eisenhower at the half. This game back and forth all night. Third quarter, it's Justin Bragi stepping out and hitting the 3, 31-24 Ike. Then Eagles create a little breathing room here as Chuck Barone comes up with a steal. The Chuck wagon here going coast to coast on this one. Eisenhower biggest lead of the night as they were up by 7, 35-28. But Jerry Kramer's team comes hustling back yet again. They'd already come back a few times in the district. Here Chris Robinson with the rebound. Going to get it out to Hollingsworth. Kicks it out to Machurdo. Fakes the 3. Steps inside. Hits the 2. And the Chieftains were down by just 2 at 39-37. Then Hollingsworth here in transition. Takes the pass from Barashai. He goes off the high glass here for 2. We were tied at the end of 3 at 39 apiece. This game had 3 ties and 12 lead changes. On to the fourth quarter, the senior Justin Bragi starts to take over. He steps out and hits the three-pointer there. He was 5-10 from behind the arc in this one. And this may be Brandon Lemley's favorite play, the alley-oop, as it's Orlando to Bragi for 2 more. Eisenhower up by 5, and then Orlando to Bragi again. Justin was 12-22 from the floor on the night. He was dominating in the fourth. Mike Hollingsworth trying to keep the Chieftains in it. He steps out and hits this three-pointer, but Utica just a little weary down the stretch. Didn't have another comeback in them. So they were just 3-12 from the floor in the fourth. Meanwhile, Justin Bragi was incredible. 15 fourth quarter points alone. That 3 there put him up by 8. And then Brady here, even when he misses, he follows his own shot and gets the tip in. Eagles shoot 7 of 10 from the floor in the fourth. And Brandon Lemley looking up at the sky, maybe thinking about Rob Atherton. As the Eagles win it 58-41, Brady 29 points and 5 rebounds in a district-clinching effort. Hollingsworth had 17. For Utica, Ike out-rebounded the Chieftains 31-23, and their bench outscored Utica 23-11.
Well, the whole game we were battling, and I started hitting some shots, and we won the game. That's all I could say.
Brady was ridiculous. He hit every shot. Oh my gosh. We just tried to shut down Hollingsworth and caught him having other people score.
Justin's our senior. He's one of our senior leaders, and he was big time. He was by far the best player on the floor tonight, and we've been talking about him stepping up and taking us to win a championship, and he was amazing tonight. He was by far the best player on the floor, and I'm so proud of him.
Talk about team, and you guys being able to rally around everything and win the district.
I don't know how to explain it. It was the hardest week of all of our lives. It was the emotional roller coaster all the way through. And, hey, it might have brought our team together because we truly won this championship as a team all the way through and through the whole week with everyone supporting each other through all the stuff that was going on.
The Eagles entered the playoffs with just a .500 record, but now they were the district champs. The area's Cinderella team would get a tough draw in the regionals, 17-4 PSL product Detroit Finney.
Detroit Finney coming out relaxed in this one, and why not? The PSL, a long history of beatdowns against Macomb County teams in the regionals, but this game was not playing out quite the same way early on. Justin Brady steps out, hits a three-pointer. Eisenhower down 1, 5-4 in the first. Then Chuck Barone over to Corey Petros. Petros with the miss. But Barone comes out with the long rebound. Nice feed inside to Brady, who lays it back up and in. 10-6. Eisenhower up by 4. More Eagles in the first. It's Barone. Nice feed to Brady, and another nice finish for Justin, who was finishing the year on a very high note. Ike 7-12 from the floor in the first quarter, and the Eagles extending that lead. Here, Chuck Barone. Nice move inside. 14-6, Ike up by 8. Eagles not done yet. They make it a double-digit lead. A 15-1 run capped off there by Jeff Rogner. Eisenhower up by 10, but Michael Douglas here wakes up Finney at the end of the first as he beats the buzzer with that three. And the Eagles were up 16-9 at the end of one. In the second quarter, Kevon Rose and company get it going. They start to hit some three-pointers. That one puts them down by 4, and then Douglas, another three-pointer. They're down by 1. The teams combined for just 4 of 29 shooting in the second quarter. Ike led by 3 at the half. In the third, Joe Worth to Justin Brady for 2, and then Rose steps out and hits the three-pointer. Finney goes on a 9-0 run to take the lead by 2. Eisenhower keeping it close, though. Justin Brady, high score on the night with 13. Got the Eagles back to within 1, but Finney just too strong down the stretch. Daryl Davis with the steal, and not quite a dunk, but close. Finney up by 4, then Davis here with the miss. Angelo Mason going to get the putback as Finney goes up on top for good. They finish the game on an 11-3 run, and they win this one at the free throw line. They were 12 of 16 from the charity stripe in the game. Ike just 2 of 4. Eagles end their season at 13-11.
And that brings to a close another edition of Sports Timeout. Congratulations to Coach Lemley and the Eagles on winning the district title. But that wraps it up for this edition of the show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.